Hi there, meteorologist Ed Valley here, taking a look at the long-range video commentary. Nothing happening here right now, but our next system already getting going in the Rockies here. And as we press forward here, we're going to add to all that rain we've seen over the last few days, right? So you go back 3 days, all this moisture from Omaha, across Iowa, into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin, all the way down to the Kentucky-Tennessee border. Nashville did pretty well. So you can see there's quite a bit of moisture, right? And over the last 24 hours, Monday was a wet day in the east. A lot of folks had trouble drying at all yesterday east because of all that precipitation. Now, let's talk about the last 30 days because we're starting to see Iowa start to get a little bit better, if you will. A lot of Iowa above normal rain last 30 days now. Illinois, Indiana, obviously, some places extreme above normal, 5-6 inches in some places. But yeah, some pretty solid moisture. And if you look at the latest percentile of soil moisture, down to 40 centimeters, you notice really no extreme dryness left on the maps. A little bit in the upper Midwest, a little bit in the southwestern plains, but that's about all we got. And a very big increase here in the Ohio Valley and parts of the Dakotas here. And you've seen the recent weather really erode any sort of issues we've had in parts of Iowa. Let me go back 10 days to give you an example here because it has changed. Look at the change here across Iowa. See that? 10 days ago, very dry. Omaha, Des Moines, up into Minneapolis. But look at where we are now. Much better. So the rain is helping. We need it, if anything, just for next year, right? And as we move forward here, there is additional rainfall coming. That's the other thing. We got rain coming into the part of the plains here as we head into really this evening for the most part here. And there is a severe risk with this storm system as well. Let me pull up the severe risk with it. You notice, here it is. It's mainly in the plains. It's mainly in central Kansas, Oklahoma, maybe up into south central Nebraska too. That's where the severe risk is really going to be with this thing. And you can see what I mean. You got these storms developing in the warm sector this evening, and they're going to be pretty strong at times. And you see the progression here right across Kansas, a pretty good complex likely in eastern Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma, maybe even up into the western Midwest here tomorrow morning. And as the system kind of devolves a little bit, the severe risk is going to go away, but the rain risk for Wednesday is a pretty good one in the Midwest. Eastern Plains and along and west of I-35 is really the area of concern tomorrow. And then as we head into tomorrow night, that pinwheels its way into eastern Iowa, Illinois, southwest Indiana, and western Kentucky. And through the day Thursday, as you can imagine, showers and even a few rumbles of thunder here across the eastern belt and Midwest. And that will slowly move away, but Friday is still very unsettled here in the eastern belt. So let me go over that one more time. Today, we got nothing, no issues. Late tonight, those storms move across the plains. And really tonight and tomorrow is along and west of I-35. If you're east of there, you're fine, no issues. Now, as we get into Wednesday night and Thursday, that's when the east becomes tough. And right now, the east by itself is going to be tough on Friday. So the east, you get some days here early, but the end of the week is tough. The central and west, you get today and tomorrow, or tomorrow wet, but then you get the Friday end up being better, right? So give and take, depending on your location. So through the rest of this week, how much rainfall are we seeing? Well, here it is. 1 to 3 inches on the European, eastern plains, most of the Midwest. We'll call it a 1/4 to 1 inch in the Ohio Valley, eastern Iowa, and eastern Minnesota. You look at the GFS, pretty similar, 1/4 to 1 inch in the Ohio Valley, eastern Minnesota, eastern Iowa, but then 1 to 3 inches in most of Minnesota, Iowa, and the eastern plains through the day on Saturday. So that is really the extent of the wet weather. I think Saturday is fine. I think Sunday, outside of a few rain or snow showers west, I think Sunday is fine. And then as we head into Monday, again, maybe a few showers here along a front for Monday into Tuesday of next week as a front moves through. Right now for moisture, I mean, I don't think it's a ton. It's a 1/10 to 3/4 of an inch. So that's certainly enough to really kind of aggravate any already wet areas, right? But that's really the only game in town, I think, for next week. High pressure moves in for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Maybe something towards the next weekend, about the 6th or 7th, we deal with something, but that's a ways out. So just one more time, once this thing moves out this Friday, we're dry Saturday. And then we do watch Sunday to Tuesday for this weak system in the Southern Belt. And then we're dry again through the remainder of the week before maybe the 6th or the 7th. So in the upper Midwest, I've been talking to a few folks asking for, oh, hey, we need dry time. Well, the answer here is it looks like Friday through, at this point, you might get a full week of dry time in the upper Midwest and Northern Plains. Further south you go, the more risk you have for next week. Okay, so that takes us through really about the day 10 time frame. So looking at day 10, what are we dealing with? Well, we're seeing this cold blast of air. That's what's going to keep that storm track to the south next week. But notice by day 15, we're starting to shake it up again. The blues are coming back to Alaska here. You notice that on this model as well, with the cooler risk developing here in the west. And you can see that the Canadian is much different. So for now, we're going to disregard the Canadian, but the GFS and the European, pretty similar here. And the reason why I'm showing you this is if you look at the idea, this would suggest a return to warmer conditions after a very chilly period, right? And that's what we're watching for as we head into the middle of the month. And if you look at our 16 to 30 day forecast, notice we did keep the warmth, quote unquote warmth, in the Northeast with cooler risk in the West. That's because we kind of thought that this type of regime would occur. You get the first little burst of cooler weather, and then, things kind of shift around, and then we get the cooler risk in the West, at least for a time, middle of November, as the rest of the middle and eastern part of the country perhaps warm up again. But again, plenty of time to figure this out, but just wanted to give you a heads up that this cold pattern may not be all that long-lived per se in any one given location. However, if it's not long-lived, you're going to see moisture start to return, and that's what we're seeing here in the 8 to 15 day on pretty much all of our modeling here by the first 10 days of November. Okay, so something to keep our eyes on, plenty to watch here moving forward. Also, as promised, we are issuing our December through February report tomorrow. Here is our analog package for this winter. A couple years will stand out to you, including last year. 2017, 2018, 11, 12, 2000, 2001, 74, 75, 67, 68, and 08, 09. And you notice here we also double weighted a few of these years. 17, 18 is a very close match. 11, 12 is pretty close. That's something to be interested in if you have ag interest next year, but we're way early on that. And then 2000, 2001 also had some pretty good similarities. And the result, as you look at the December to February mashup, or whatever you want to call it, aggregate, you get the Southeast Ridge, you get the ridging south of Alaska, and you get a mean trough coming in here in the Northern Plains and Upper Midwest. So we're going to have a lot of specific discussion about this on Wednesday. I encourage you to read, and we're going to put a video out on it Friday as well. So a lot of really good stuff coming here this week. So if you have questions, let us know. Otherwise, we will talk to you again here tomorrow.